Hi everyone, and welcome to a special Christmas edition of The Well-Educated Artist. And you probably guessed it, we're going to be making Christmas ornaments. To get into the Christmas spirit, we're going to combine two of my favorite things around this time of year, and that is making Christmas ornaments and making blooms or pour painting. Instead of pour painting these, we are going to be making blooms on these. So I have chosen to use wood forms. This is a pretty hefty wood form, as you can see. So there's no breaking this one right offhand. But I have all kinds of forms, and I can show you how to do these. And the easiest way to do these, you can pick these up pretty much anywhere this time of year, and of course on the internet. So to get started, we're going to start with our form, and this could be in any color you want with your scheme for the year. A lot of people change their color schemes every year. You can see I'm going to be using a lot of purples. No surprise there. There's gold, there's silver, and one of my favorite colors, this is Abalone shell. It has so much glitter in that. And this one and many of my colors are from ColourArte. So this is from the Bling It collection, and I've got several of those. I've also got Indigo over there. My mix is Behr 8300, Deep Base, and Jo Sonja Varnish. That's all this is, mixed with my pigments. And I also have a couple paints over here. I've always got something custom. And you can see, I think this is Sunflower, and then we've got a silver that I know is not ColourArte. That one's ColourArte. And Wine and Roses, which is absolutely scrumptious. And that one is definitely from ColourArte. And Indigo from ColourArte's Bling It collection. Snapdragon from ColourArte, and I believe that's PearlX's Color Reflex Violet. I use that one a lot, and a custom color that is mainly Prussian blue with a little bit of my interference gold mixed together. And then we've got golds and bronze. This is actually a bronze from Meyspring, about out of it, love it. A great color. And so even though the colors are not that important, I'll be switching between colors. I will try to put them in the description below, so you can click on the title and see the colors that I have used in the particular ornament. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, before we get started, we're going to need to tape off our ornament. Unless you want this on the back of your ornament, this one's taped off, then you're going to need to tape it off. And I can show you some treatments you can do the back of the ornaments as well when we're done. But right now we're going to focus on the front. So on the front, you're going to want to tape off the top of this one is taped off, and the back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape those off really quickly with my painter's tape. Okay, if you don't mind a mess, you do not have to do this. You can skip that step. But I'm going to want to do a treatment on the back, so I want to make sure that I have a clean slate. To get started, I am going to be adding my pillow or my base here. This is just black house paint, and I believe this is Color Place from Walmart, so very cheap project to do. This is just in a condiment bottle. It makes it easier to work in small spaces. So we're just going to go ahead and put down our base. See how easy that makes it, especially if you're working on a round ornament. It's super easy. And that's about all we need. And just go right around the edges. Probably overdid that just a little bit with the paint, so you don't need a lot of paint for this. Okay, so now I'm just going to apply my colors. Whatever is pertinent for your scheme, then go ahead and apply it. I'm just going to add my cell activator of titanium white and Australian Floetrol onto the back of my palette knife. This is a number 14. It's a little bit big for this application. It's going to take quite a lot of cell activator, and I'm also going to add just a little bit of gold. Okay. Just doing a little bit of a swipe there. And it really is that easy. I'm just going to give it a brief torch. And you can turn it however you want to. That's all it takes to do an absolutely gorgeous ornament. For the next ornament, we are just going to be using one that's a little more intricate. Yes, you can do these. It doesn't take very much paint to do them, and it's very hard to do anything to the back. It's hard to tape off these, so I'm not going to tape it off. I'll do another treatment that I can show you at the end on how to finish some of the backs of these ornaments. And I'm just going to do this one maybe in more of a chinoise, a blue-white kind of cold look. So really this could be any pattern that you want, but I'm just going to do mine in more the chinoise style. For this one, I'm going to be using white house paint. So I'm just going to apply my white house paint, still in the bottle. And what I'm going to do is just go out to the edges on this. These get a lot messier when you have lots of little edges, but that's not a problem. It's no fun unless you're making a mess, right? So, once we've got our edges like that, it's fine if it runs over, that's no big deal. As you see, I just made a nice little mess there. You can do a little finger painting, make sure you've covered all your surfaces. It's always a good idea, especially if you're going to be using a paint that's translucent, or you don't want to not have any at the end if you're going to swipe. And this one, you can either swipe it, you can blow it, it doesn't really matter. You're going to do the same as you did with the other one. You're just going to put your colors down. My blue is a little thick there. You just thin it out. And I have learned to just put some blue, whatever color you're going to want to show up, you want to go ahead and put some on your little spokes of your snowflake, just to make sure the color is even. That's just a tip, because sometimes your color doesn't quite swipe all over, and I want my color to be more uniform. I'm also going to be adding some very pretty indigo, which is from the Bling It collection from ColourArte. It's going to add my bling. And I'm also going to be adding some silver. This one is actually from a metallic collection. I learned the hard way that if you buy pigments that have actually metal in them, and you add varnish to them and the Behr 8300, then they actually oxidize. So if you want oxidization, that's a way to get your copper to turn green and your other metals to oxidize as well. But this one didn't oxidize. And then I am going to add my abalone shell, just around the middle, maybe a little bit on the edges today. And yes, it looks like a hot mess, but now all you have to do, and I'm just going to use the same old, big old applicator here, my palette knife, and I'm going to add the exact same white, titanium white, and Australian Floetrol. You don't have to use this mix. There are plenty of cell activators that will work fine. This is just the one I had made up and handy. I have my own cell activator that I usually use if I'm going to be doing black, but I'll just go ahead right now, and I am going to just lay it in the middle, and I am going to swipe right around just like so. Okay. Give it a good spin. Cool. Give it just a second to develop. The only thing you're going to have to do now is remove it from that puddle of paint. I suggest using a palette knife or a small spatula. And there you go. Let me move it out of the way and down onto my silicone mat. And you can see what you're going to have. Even the leftover paint, you can take the leftover paint and you can put that on another ornament, which is an awesome idea, and that way you don't waste any paint with this type of ornament. So basically just take it and pop it onto the next one. Okay, for the next two ornaments, I'm bringing in a whole nother set of colors, more traditional. So we've got lots of greens and then cinnamon red from ColourArte here, 3 ColourArte colors here. So they're all in the green family, and then I've kept my golds and my silvers. So what I'm gonna do for my green, I'm gonna go for the classic Christmas tree, because then if I want to, I can decorate it. If I want to leave it traditionally green, I can, or I can decorate it with some baubles like this. And it's just a lot of fun. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for this one is I'm going to use my black again. I'm just going to go ahead and put on my black. Give it just a quick out to the sides. I think this one I'm also going to do that. Yeah, because I want this one to be red, and to do that I need to create a faux pillow. So I'm going to do this, and if I put white down, I'm very likely going to get pink. And I don't want pink, so I'm going to add my black to that one as well. And if I want to, I could max that off, or I can just, with this type, you don't really have to worry about getting a lot of paint on that. Okay, so with this one, I'm gonna go ahead and add my greens, starting with my darkest green. Now all I have to do is do the same thing. This time I'm going to use my cell activator, which is the Well-Educated Artist cell activator, but you can use Floetrol, Australian Floetrol. That's a lot. I'm going to do this one in black. You could do it in black and gold. Whatever floats your boat. And then just going to swipe it. Okay, I'm just going to help that along just a little bit. And while that's developing, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to be adding my cinnamon red. My copper, and I think I am going to add a couple of golds here. This one, I believe, is DecoArt 24 karat gold. And this one, I think, is Pebeo's rich gold. So a lot of golds here. And then, on top of that, I'm going to add a little more red. I could have used my DecoArt makes a Christmas red. You could use that one. There you go. Good, our Christmas tree is working just fine. And what color do I want to do over the top of that? I may just do my black. Okay, while that one is developing, I'm going to go ahead and get up the Christmas tree. So you can see it, if I move it away, look at that. It makes an awesome Christmas tree. One that you can easily decorate. I'm going to put this one down. And I messed that one up a little bit on the corner. So, if I can't dump it, I am going to add to the corner. Actually, I might go ahead and add to it now. The good thing is you can move these however you want them. And there we go. Still ends up being gorgeous. You still have an amazing looking ornament. You go back and finish that off and put some varnish over the top and that'll be absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put this one down and then I'm going to come back and show you how to finish up your ornaments and what they look like. It's been about 24 hours and my ornaments that I made yesterday are dry. So there are a few things that you need to do to prepare them to finish them off. And the first thing, of course, and I've already started doing this, is take off any tape that you have. So this protects the ornament. You can still see I have a little bit of paint seepage, but that is nowhere near what it would have been like if I had let it go over the sides and make such a mess on the back. So I'm going to just take my tape off. And now I have a nice clean slate. So I'm going to give you some options of what you can do once you're ready to finish up your ornaments. Now, of course, you can keep them like this if you want to, or you can finish them. And as you see here, these I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint these. So I'm just going to grab my gold paint and I'm going to paint these. I'm going to show you a couple of options for finishing the backs of your ornaments. One option that you can do that you may not think of is velvet even on them. This one has some blue in it. This one would look really pretty with the velvet. So I'm going to use peel and stick velvet. And all you have to do for that is draw around your ornament on the back side, which is paper. Once you've drawn that out, you can just cut around it. So once you have your velvet back cut out, you can just take your ornament, flip it over, and remove the paper backing. It removes just like that, and then you're going to want to line it up just so onto your ornament so that the back does not show. Okay, so once you've done that, and I decided to go ahead and cut the back off of this one just because it makes it easier to deal with the hole. So you can do that and have a really nice velvet ornament, or you may choose just to paint them gold. That's an easy way. Or you may choose to go on all out. For example, on these that have that kind of chinoiserie look, these snowflakes, you may have to do a little bit of cleaning up. You can just take your X-Acto knife and you can see where you have little edges. If you don't like those edges, then you can go ahead and just remove the extra paint. Okay, so we're just going to take our snowflake, and the back is not very pretty. So the easiest way to do this is just to take some paint, just put it straight on your brush or put it out, and then just go ahead and paint on the back. Now, it could be any color you want. I'm using white because I'm going to be using white glitter. Once you've got your paint on the back, I'm just going to take one of my paper towels, these little quartering paper towels, and that way when I go and apply my glitter, it doesn't go everywhere, but this will actually just allow it to stick on the back. So the way I'm finishing this one is just with paint and glitter. So the Christmas trees, I'm probably going to leave this one the way it is. I'm probably just going to paint or glitter the back. But this one I'm going to have some fun with. I think this one I'm going to be using my diamond glaze, and just going to add a little bit of fun in here. So I can just put my diamond glaze, which by the way is wonderful to just put over the top, and I can kind of show you with this one. You can use something like Jo Sonja, the gloss varnish. This is a water-based one. Same thing I use to mix my paint, so you know you have that. Or you can use something like diamond glaze, and all you have to do to cover it, and this has such a wonderful texture, but all you have to do to cover that is basically just to take it just like this and go over it. And it can be super thick like this, and it will dry fairly quickly. It should be dry in a warm area in just a couple of hours usually, and definitely 24 hours. And you can just put this on there. It looks hazy, but it's going to dry completely clear, and it's going to be raised, and it's wonderful for that. You just want to make sure that you get it right on the tips of the tree here, just like that, and you're good to go. That is a very protected tree right there, and it's going to be awesome. Let me make sure I get some bubbles. You do want to pop any bubbles just like you do with the paint. So just pop your bubbles, and like I said, you're good to go with that. Once you've covered it completely, and it self-levels pretty darn well. So that is your diamond glaze, which I'm a big fan of. And you know what? If you have leftover glitter, I'm just going to take another little piece of towel, and I'm going to move this onto here. Try not to stir my glue out too much. And I can add any kind of embellishment. This particular tree was just made over the left paint of this bloom. I had leftover paint, and I just put it on my palette knife and put it onto my tree, and it just gave a whole different look to the tree. So if you have extra glitter, which I do right here on this paper towel, you remember doing this in elementary school, I'm sure, and just go ahead and pop that extra glitter off of there just like that. And you have your snow. And when this is dry, I can take some really cute Christmas gemstones, and I can decorate my Christmas tree. Okay, so this is so much fun to do. And here in a sec, I will show you what they look like when they're completely done.